Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm 22 years old and I just graduated college in December of 2025 and I'm currently in my gap year before I go to grad school. I just wanted to sit down and talk to basically myself about things that I went through in college and what I learned and looking back on what I could have done differently to just, I guess, like reflect on myself. So, looking back at college, what I could say to sum up how I went through college was I had one goal, and in a way, I was just driven to just meet that goal instead of seeing the bigger picture of basically what college is, living away from home is in your early 20s. I wanted to go to medical school for about like the first 3 years that I was in college, and in order to do that, I think I was not toxic, but one of the people who would only think about that goal and always be in the mindset that I have to do something that is driven towards that goal rather than enjoying the process of getting there. That looked like me always just going to classes, office hours, trying to get into research from my first semester in college, finding volunteer, and that ultimately, I think I had a mindset that I always had to work hard, even though I wasn't giving my best, in a way, be like a performative person to show that I'm working hard to other people, to my professors, to my friends, to my peers. Always just trying to be someone that looked like they were on track. And that ultimately led me to have go through a burnout and basically fall apart. So I took on so I enjoyed freshman year and beginning of sophomore year. I enjoyed being busy. I enjoyed being outside of my dorm, not just in bed, doing something, studying, whether it was like being with the professors that I was learning from, or some extracurricular activities. But when I look back, I think I never had time for myself, which is something really different to what I am, the type of lifestyle I have right now. I have a lot of time towards myself right now to think about, look back, basically have the time to sit down like this and just think about the past 4 years that I was through. And I remember if my friends said they wanted to hang out with me, I would say, no, I'm busy. I have to study for an exam. When it wasn't like, even when it wasn't like the next day that I had the exam, I had like a couple of days, but from the week before the exam, I would be like, I just need to lock in every single second to do it. But the thing is, I wasn't actually in the full state of flow every single time. Sometimes it would be just a lazy day of me trying to sit there and get something in my head, trying to sit there and understand what article I'm reading for research. It wasn't the most productive, but I just sat there because basically didn't know how I needed to study. Middle school, high school for me, I wasn't the person to actually have a driven goal. I was much of a laid back person. My parents also are not the type of parents to be like, Hannah, you always have to be first place. You always have to get 100 on a test. They're more of a enjoy what you can do and just don't fail. So I never had the pressure to try my best. In college was the first time I had a goal, in this case, going to medical school. This was the first time that I genuinely tried in what I was doing. Because I didn't know what giving your all was, I just sat there days where my friends would be like, Hannah, let's go and explore the city. Hannah, let's try this new restaurant out somewhere, and me just rejecting all of them just because I thought I had to I didn't have the time, and if I were to do something else outside of academics, it was me not being productive or not being disciplined. Now that I think about it, I think I would tell myself, and this led to me, I was extremely depressed. I physically couldn't get up to go to classes because the results of these actions were not good. That would lead to me be more depressive because I didn't get good results. Demotivated me to try to work hard, I guess, and it was just a really vicious cycle. And I really talked with my friends, my roommates. I was no longer around anywhere. I was always in my room alone. I think like being alone is not a problem at all if you're doing something that you enjoy doing and you enjoy being alone. But me personally, like I like being with people that well, I guess everyone does, but I enjoy company. I knew that like trying to spend more time with the people that I enjoy company with would cure me, but I just didn't do it. I was like, I don't want to show this to anyone, and I don't want to spread. Like I feel like this mood is contagious that like I just don't really want to show anyone else. Because it was like the first time that I was like this depressed, I think I also just didn't know what to do. But anyways, senior year came. I guess I was getting out of the slump, but I just really thought about, am I willing to dedicate the next at least 10 years to medicine? Am I dedicated enough to give my personal life outside of work, personal time, effort, energy into the career path? It took a really hard gulp of confidence for me to acknowledge that I also need my personal time. I'm not someone that can just be driven to do something with just their career. I'm someone that needs personal time outside of thinking about what I need to do for my career. Beginning of college, I could imagine myself being in surgery room conducting a whole surgery by myself. Not by myself, but like leading as a doctor. I was like confident that yes, I can do the 24-hour shifts, I can do the 48-hour shifts on call. I am positive that I want to do that. But at this time in senior year, I was like, I can't see myself doing that anymore. I feel like if I do pursue this career, I think I'm going to be somewhat dead inside. And that's where I had that realization, and I was also kind of devastated in a way just because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I had to do. I thought maybe I just wasted the past 3 years of my life doing something that I'm not even going to end up doing. It needed time to sink in that it was okay that I am switching career paths, that I am not giving up and I didn't waste any time. And this is just part of the process. I just started looking at the big picture really at the end of my college career. That's when I pivoted to dentistry. One night I was just talking with my mom and I said, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what else I can do. And my mom just said, I told you, dentistry is right there. You should think about it. Freshman year, sophomore year, whenever she told me, Hannah, there's always other options, I was like, Mother, don't doubt me. I'm going my own path. But this time when she said it, I finally started listening. And that night, I remember I started looking up dental offices. That day, calling the offices the next day and emailing them, just come in and shadow you guys. And luckily, a lot of private dental offices in the area said yes. And I just went shadowing, not because I was determined to go into dentistry, but I was just genuinely curious on like, what is the hype? Like, why do people go to dental school at the end of the day? Like, there has to be something about it. And I go, dentistry is not just about looking into people's mouths. it's much more of a type of patient interaction and different type of relationships you have with your patients, although this differs by specialty. But I thought that the bond between the dentist and patients in the dental field was much more prominent in a way than your typical doctor. And I really, really like this aspect. And that's what caught my mind first. And second was I was like, wait, I'm not grossed out by looking into people's mouths. Like, I was like, ooh, what's the dentist doing? And then like I would always like try to look into the patient's mouth as well. Was, I guess, like in a way you can say life changing, in a way where I could see myself in something else other than the medical field. I know, well, I would say dentistry is a type of medicine. I don't know what other people think, but I think it is. And it's just a different type of medicine in a way. At the end of the day, it's like DMD, doctor of something, or DDS. So it is a doctor. Dentists are doctors. But yeah, I started feeling confident that I could, not because I really liked the field of dentistry. Yes, I did really enjoy it, but it also gave me the hope that medicine was not the only path for me, and there could be something else other than medicine. So this got me a new type of encouragement and motivation for me to try to get into the field. And my last semester in college, when I started shadowing, luckily I had finished research, also stepped down from doing any leadership positions, and having the time to myself to think about all of this really helped me. And I am super glad that my senior semester, I was able to spend it on looking into a career path and ultimately deciding that this was the field that I wanted to go into. Where I am now, I'm working at an orthodontics office, and I enjoy what I do. I guess like the reason why I'm saying all this is, first of all, now that like I'm outside of college, I'm like a step back from me running towards a specific goal in college. I can say first, don't worry too much. Don't doubt yourself, first of all, and second, don't worry if this is the right thing to do or not. I personally think, rather than just laying in bed, sleeping all day when I was depressed, it's better to do something. I don't know what it is, but something is better than nothing. And this all ends up being the foundation of something. Like, a lot of people say that like things you do in college are the foundation of life, and at the time I like didn't really believe it, but it's true. It is. You learn different lessons in doing different types of experiences, whether it's work, whether it's academics, whether it's just other clubs, extracurriculars, volunteer. You learn a different thing in every different place you are at. Not worrying if this is the right path or not is really important. Or to be able to change one thing in my college career or how I treated things is not to be so serious. Especially me, like just don't. And be yourself. I think in a way, because I was so relaxed and laid back in like high school and middle school compared to others, and college was a very different environment for me, and I had a very different mindset. I wasn't being honest to myself. Like, I knew that this was not my personality. If I were to be myself from the start, I would have been a little more laid back, a little more less concerned about what I wanted to do, and know that you're not wasting time, even if it's just hanging out with friends, taking time to start a hobby, to explore the city. That is like not wasting time. Like, wasting time has a different definition than what you think. is what I would say to myself. I'm more mature mentally and stronger mentally. I think I have the courage to do more things and be a little laid back at times. I think about myself, I think about the anxiety character in Inside Out. I think that anxiety character became really big, and then now it's a bit smaller in my mind than before. Yeah, that's just like a little reflection of my college life. I know it was much more into like the school life itself rather than a holistic view of the things I did, but yeah, I guess I'm just talking to myself of what I think about the last 4 years.